Hi y'all, welcome back to Reedy Roots. If you are a subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. And if you are new, welcome. My name is Rita. I talk about plants on this channel. Info, care, tips and tricks, and plenty projects. Today I'll be discussing the rubber plant. Info, care, and propagation by air layering. I just love my variegated rubber plant. I'm smitten daily by its leaves. It's like someone hand painted each leaf. I've seen variegated ones like mine, labeled as ruby or Tineke. The scientific name is Ficus elastica. Ficus is the genus of figs. Ficus elastica are native to eastern parts of South Asia and Southeast Asia, like India, Nepal, Myanmar, China, Malaysia, etc. It can grow up to 100 feet tall in its natural habitat. Rubber trees like bright, indirect light. I've got mine planted in a well-draining mix of soil, orchid bark, perlite, and charcoal. I water when it is mostly dry and when the leaves seem soft, less firm, and less bouncy. A day after watering, I'll see what the leaves feel like when the plant is recently watered. This way I can compare the leaves in the weeks following. Benedict. I like to do this with most plants. See what they feel like when they're currently hydrated. I fertilize this plant about monthly in the growing season with a balanced 10-10-10 liquid fertilizer. I dilute the instruction dosage by half because I'm worried about burning my plants. These plants do not like to be moved. They hate sudden drops of temperature and cold drafts. To let you know that they're unhappy, they will drop leaves. I've had this plant for almost 2 years. This new growth is gorgeous but small due to winter growth. It came with 5 plants in this pot. I cut one plant out all the way below the soil, and I rooted it in water. I traded it for another plant with a local plant enthusiast. I got a curly bonnie spider plant out of the deal. This thing surely needs to be up-potted. Look at the root growing out of the bottom. I don't care for this one plant leaning so dramatically to the side. It's been like that since I bought it, and I don't have room for such a wide footprint. Instead of unpotting it and pulling the plants apart, I'm going to try air layering this one plant so I can start a new plant. Air layering is a procedure used to induce roots to form on a plant stem while it is still attached to the parent plant. It probably has the best success rate compared to cutting the plant and trying to root it in a medium like water or moss or perlite. Remove a few leaves so you have a blank stem to work with. Careful of the milky white latex. This sap is toxic if taken internally and could irritate your skin. It's toxic to pets too. The cut should penetrate down to the woody center of the stem. You can use rooting hormone if you want. I didn't in this case. I just didn't feel like finding it or messing with it. You'll make a cut parallel with the stem. Moist sphagnum moss will be packed into the cut, and moist sphagnum moss will be wrapped around the stem. Then you'll wrap plastic, like saran wrap, around the moss as tight as you can, but not too tight. You'll secure the plastic on both ends with twist ties. Be careful not to tie too tightly though. You don't want to girdle and choke out the stem. I'll check the moss every couple of days and re-moisten as needed. I believe it can take maybe 3 to 5 weeks to fully root. Once it's all rooted up, I'll cut just below the new root bundle and pot it up. Please stay tuned for updates, as well as cutting the propagation off the mother plant and potting it up. Okay, so it's been about 2.5 weeks since we started the air layering project. Kind of feels like it might still be moist in there, but I want to unwrap it and check and add some moisture. See how those roots are doing and see if anything has started yet. There are a few little roots forming and the moss is still pretty moist. I ended up spraying it just a little bit more and wrapping it back up. And the plant is still doing well. All right, it's been about 5.5 weeks and you can definitely see some cute little white roots forming. Can't wait to unwrap this and check it out. All right, so this is a little over 5 weeks of air layering. It's looking pretty good. The moss needs to be moistened a little bit. Not sure if I want to cut it and pot it up yet. It's looking about there though. Here it is 14 weeks later. I probably could have chopped it off and potted it up. I don't know why I didn't at this point. I think we were just busy with life. Many, many, many months later, after we bought a house, got pregnant, moved, here it is, neglected, kind of dried out, but still have some pretty decent roots. I'm gonna chop it off the mother plant and pot it up. Take some clean, sharp pruners and cut below the root bundle. There'll be some milky latex and you'll want to pat it dry. It should cauterize itself pretty quickly. Be careful not to touch it. It could cause a rash to sensitive people, and don't let your pets get to it either. It dried up pretty quickly for me. I just dabbed it on a little rag. I potted the propagation up in a mix of potting soil, cactus mix, orchid bark, charcoal, cocoa croutons, a little bit of pumice, and a little bit of perlite as well. I slightly moistened the mix in the pot as well. I planted the bulk of the root ball into the soil mixture with just a little bit poking out. A little wooden stake was added for support, and here it is. Looks pretty good, I think. I'm pretty happy with this experiment. Isn't she gorgeous? She even has a new leaf unfurling. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'm definitely open to any tips, tricks, advice, opinions. We'll have a good one. Bye!